first look at this game. Alright, new game. Artwork is gorgeous. Hey, Azza. Wait, can I only choose to be 3? Really? So Bria, Vontrue, or Toreador? I know, right? Alright, who am I playing? Who do I want? Huh? Well, in our first game, I actually play a Gangrel, who was Cative. In the second game I play, though, yes, I play a Toreador. I kind of wish there was more options, though. Look, we're playing like Takara because I promised Chaos I'd do that. So let's go Bria, because I think that's the closest we're gonna get. Oh, what are we gonna call him? Alright, I need name suggestions. Just call him Sunshine Boy. No, I'm not gonna call him Smallish. Because it's a silly name for an actual person. It's okay as a gamer tag. Captain Awesome Monkey. No. Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna go with Max. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it was just superstitious bullshit. But we are here, all designers of our own destiny. I feel like I should move my camera. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sunk her teeth deep into my neck. Ooh, this is intriguing. Yeah, I'm gonna move this. Because otherwise you guys aren't going to see. Alright. Oh my god, I gotta move everything, don't I? Actually. These ones can disappear. There we go. Kind of. I wasn't able to do complete Takara. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate? You decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen a little longer. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye. The one you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light, erupting from within, and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a 9th generation kindred, just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. It's such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart and see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying you're eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me? Just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York. 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much, don't get me wrong, but it is precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I'd trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy, asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. But this is New York, and I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. Sup, guys? Take a small break. Sup, Wacky? I think this game's been out for a while. Hi, Geek! I think this is mainly just going to be me monologuing. The music is pounding, your pulse is keeping pace. This is one of those nights that makes you feel alive, even though it started with you feeling dead. First came the messy breakup, then the realization you have nobody to talk to about much. It sucked. Still, you decided to roll with the punches. On Facebook, search for local events later, and you found just the thing for your malice. A short subway ride and you find yourself at the club just outside Dumbo. Not a fancy one, mind you. More like a slightly refurbished warehouse, but hey, at least the drinks are cheap. The DJ seems to really know his shit too, alternating between cutting-edge industrial texo and classic Detroit crowd pleasers, expertly feeling out everyone's move. An hour passes. Then 2. Usually you feel awkward coming to a place like this alone, but tonight, you find something soothing in joining the crowd, blending in, even as you allow the beat to take over. Sweat, yours, other people's, soaks through your shirt and pants in a matter of minutes. It's kind of gross. A thought pops into your head. From the outside, the fully packed club must seem like a stuffy, smelly nightmare, but here, in the thick of it, it becomes exhilarating. And you're not even on a pill tonight. Then this Latina chick, whose curves are accentuated by the little dress clinging to her body, and she keeps bumping into you. Something tells you it only seems incidental. I don't know, but I'm not gonna lie. This has very strong Takara vibes. Yeah, it's a good night. You wish it could last forever, because you know all too well what the next day holds. Waking up, getting dressed for work, the commute, the 9-to-5 grind that'll make you just enough money to pay the rent and keep living in your overpriced shithole of an apartment. And with Jessica moving out, it'll be coming out of your pocket. You run some quick calculations in your head and immediately come to regret that you did. Never mind. You spot the Latina again. She is now next to another guy, hitting it off. Your chance of not going to bed alone? Gone. Just like that. Fuck. Your mood temporarily shut down. You leave the dance floor and stumble your way to the filthy bathroom. You take a look in the mirror and start to wash your face, obsessively. Over and over again. A voice from the past echoes in your mind. I never felt like this with anyone. Seriously, I mean it. I feel like all of my relationships up to this point were test runs, a shitty way to compensate for my low self-esteem. But this feels right. Finally. Shut up, Jess. This was the craziest fucking day of my life. God, I need a smoke. Pass me a light? What do you mean? Cops took the lighter. There's one in your mouth. Just shut the hell up. This is not you. Not anymore. Oh, fuck off. This is so like you. Acting like some sort of Clint Eastwood wannabe when I really, really need you to open up. You think you're impressing people with this tough guy act? Fuck you. I know how broken you really are. You need therapy. Yeah, now that sounds like the Jessica from today. You raise your head and look at the mirror. You try to smile, but all you can do is muster a self-pitying grin. And there she is, the Latina from before. She says you look like you need a drink. You hesitate for a second or two, then blurt out an enthusiastic, yeah. You start to talk. It quickly becomes evident that she's into politics, and you are eager to please. You might be a corporate drone, but you spend a lot of evenings reading theory. Actual theory, not bastardized Twitter cliff notes, and organized for all manners of courses online. The status quo sucks. There must be something better. She agrees. She seems to subscribe to the same progressive political theories, have compatible ideas about the DSA's missteps, even watching the same YouTube channels. Your goals are aligned. She's a bit more radical than you'd have guessed. You've attended a few rallies, been to a few protests, but this girl sounds like she's broke her share of faces and kicked more than a couple of cops in the nuts over the course of her activist career. Her zeal is infectious. She taps into pent-up anger that you didn't know you had. The noisy club stops, working for you both, so you hit the streets. Just as you're leaving, the DJ starts playing All the Things She Said by Tattoo, of course. You chuckle to yourself, trying not to slip into a bad headspace. She chuckles along with you. It's chilly outside, but soon enough, you find yourself too invested in listening to the girl's voice to care about anything else. You realize you've been holding hands for a while. The subway car is empty, save for a stoic, middle-aged couple and a drunk staring intently at his own feet. Plenty of room to stretch out, and yet, she sits right next to you. You can feel her thigh pressing into yours, her breath on the side of your neck. Maybe it's the booze talking, but you distinctly hear your voice asking if she'd like to crash at your place. I've got a better idea, she says. At this point, you're down for anything, as long as it lets you spend just a few more minutes with her. She takes you to a sleazy motel in the Bronx, trading a few words with the bald-looking guy at the front desk. He hands her a key. Still holding your hand, the woman leads you up the stairs. The room you end up in is almost comically stereotyped, complete with flaking paint and a sticky floor. Not that it matters though. The moment you step through the door, she's on you. You try to take the lead, but she's having none of it. Before you know it, you feel the rickety bed pressing against your back. It's sloppy, fun, fierce, and not once does she lose the initiative. Am I really reading this? Am I? Your hands reach under her t-shirt. Strange. It didn't look like she was cold outside, but now her skin feels eerily cool. As if sensing your confusion, she slaps your hands off her. She kisses your neck. You are overwhelmed by the sensation. Darkness. The taste of liquid fire and smoke on your tongue. Her voice saying, "Sorry, kid. I did what I had to do to leave this city in one piece. But don't worry. With my blood and your principles, you're gonna do just fine." She slams the motel door behind her as she leaves. You lie, helpless in the soiled, pungent mattress for some time. Minutes, hours, before you can focus enough to try and piece together your evening. It hits you. The big hunger. It grips you by the throat and makes your insides shrivel in terror. It's an all-encompassing emptiness that throws you on all fours. You crawl for a while, squirm on the floor in sundering pain, then jump to your feet and burst out the door. You black out. This isn't the room you saw when you last closed your eyes. Somebody curses at you. A small, naked buff dude holding a short leather whip. Wow, what a goofy motherfucker. He throws a punch. He yells out several slurs. He hits you in the jaw. You black out again. The guy isn't moving anymore. There's blood on his neck. There's blood on his arms. There's blood on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Wow, whoever did this was one sick puppy. You realize you're sitting on top of his corpse. You hear a whimper. Someone else is there. A woman. Her arms are tied to the bed frame and her eye mask over her face. Red marks on her back. This time you see it happen. You want to stop, but can't. She almost manages to get a scream out, but it dies in her throat as you bite into the side of her neck. You drink. Blood. You're drinking blood. You could swear you feel her life force escaping her body, entering yours. Suddenly terrified, you tear away from her. She's not moving, but she's breathing. There's barely a mark on her neck. The guy on the floor, though. You double over in a spasm, realizing what you did. You feel like throwing up, but can only gag. Panic sets in as another realization dawns on you. Your heart is not beating. You put 2 fingers to the side of your wrist, but feel no pulse. Same thing on the neck. Nothing. There is no breathing coming out of your mouth. You have to get out. Get someone to call an ambulance for yourself, at least. Probably too late for the dude on the floor. Did you really kill him? What a mess. You look up. The door to the room is ajar. A tall, handsome, broad-shouldered man fills the entire frame. He brushes an imaginary speck of dirt off his perfectly tailored suit. Sorry for self-preservation. Hey man, this isn't what it looks like. That's good to hear, because from where I'm standing, looks like you're in a world of trouble. He surveys the room, not moving an inch from where he's standing. He shakes his head in mock concern. Murder, assault. That's 25 to life if you're lucky. But since you're not, it's a death sentence. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Lucky for you, it's been a slow night. Otherwise, I might not have gotten here in time. Come, The sun comes up in a few hours. You don't want to be around here when it does. We're playing Takara Simulator, so... yeah. Fuck you, man. I'm not going anywhere with you. An angry scowl appears on his face. Language, whelp. The man approaches you and starts talking. His tone remains unnaturally calm. Oddly enough, you find it both soothing and slightly unnerving. Now listen to me. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you. And going by experience, they tend to fall into two categories. First, there are the smart ones, who carefully obey my every word and don't try to pull anything stupid. I always get them where they need to be, safe and sound. And then there are the dumb ones. The punks who think they can take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody, secretly and without permission. The troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them get to their destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reach their destination at all. His voice becomes suddenly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given this speech before, likely dozens of times. You see, while I generally consider myself pretty smart, I'm also a Mets fan. It's one of my true weaknesses. One thing that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. But cross me 3 times, and you're out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely chaos. As he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually, he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes, and you're out. Say, "I understand, sir." Now. You've never been too eager to bend the knee to anyone, but this is something else. This man's presence instills a primal fear in your heart. I know exactly which one I want to pick. This playthrough could be, as it gets it, this playthrough could be over very, very quickly. Don't do it. Alright, look. Chaos has played this game, so if she says don't do it, it means if I do, it's gonna be bad. However, you are talking to the girl that turned to Kane and basically said bet. Alright, how about we go the middle ground and I go C? Not quite saying yes, but I'm not telling them to straight up fuck off. I mean, we're confused in this situation as well. So I don't want to have to read all that again though, guys. Alright, we'll go this one. Can't you just tell me what the hell is going on? No. And that's strike 2, by the way. Moving on. Is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them you're alright? He flashes his fangs briefly, and for some reason, the sight sends a chill down your spine. There is something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you? Why is the option lie out your ass? I mean, we've just broken up with the girlfriend. Why would we want to tell her that I'm in trouble? Why is there just not an option to say no, there's no one? I mean, what's the point of lying? Honestly, what is the point of lying in this situation? Like, is lie out your ass basically saying no, there isn't anyone? I feel like he'd be able to tell. I feel like he'd be able to tell. I mean, I guess we can go the X. I mean, Takara would lie. Jerry. Yes? Oh my god, why the name Jerry? That is the name of the poltergeist I have in my apartment in our tabletop game that throws glass plates and cups at my head. Yes. And who is Jerry? Your frantic mind is drawing a blank. Well, Jerry is a man of many faces. The stranger gives you a tired stare. Lying to me is a strike, whelp. Ah, fuck. And that's strike 3. He produces something from his jacket. For a split second, it becomes a blur. Suddenly, you feel a sharp pain in your chest, and you realize you can't move a muscle. You're just a rabid dog. You need to be put down. The man throws you over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. From that point on, you can only see snippets, zoning in and out. No one stops the man as he carries your helpless body out of the building and throws it in the back of a black car. You drift out of consciousness. Everything goes dark again. An endless void of nothingness. Suddenly, a wet, squelch-like sound rings in your ears. Then your chest explodes with an excruciating ache. Disembodied, you find yourself being slowly entrapped by a horrifying dead flesh. Then, resurrection. You suck air through your teeth as you wake, hoping this was all just a nightmare. The gasp doesn't bring you any comfort, and you quickly realize it's nothing more than a residual instinct. You don't actually breathe in, nor out, and your heart is still as it was before. Sight comes back to you as you focus on the features of an unfamiliar room. No windows, just a simple bed. A single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A small, humming fridge. And a rattling AC fan in the wall. You notice claw marks on the inner side of the entrance door. Rise and shine, fledgling. We've got places to be. His suit is as immaculate as yesterday, but his presence strikes you as even more malevolent than before. Yeah, whatever. What did you do to me? He recites his answer monotonously. I fulfilled my sacred duty as judge, jury, and executioner. You went against my rules. I meted out punishment. The man glances at his watch, then turns his eyes to you again. You're expected. Get in the car. You have more questions? Where I'm taking you, you'll get the answers. Probably more than you're ready to handle. I mean, pretty astute observation. But I don't think we'd be really wanting to get out anywhere. I mean, if he murdered us... Well, torpid us that easily. Can you at least acknowledge I'm dead? It's a philosophical conundrum that I don't feel competent to solve. Medically speaking, you're deceased, and yet you're standing here talking, thinking, stalling. Enough's enough. Are you getting inside the car, or are you really, really willing to risk a fourth strike in this match? This game doesn't know me. Hijack the car? Why is that an option? Why is hijack the car an option? Chaos, is there a point in this game where I can piss him off so much I die properly? So, I can either rush him, just get inside the car like a good boy, or I can try and hijack the car. Oh, he's the sheriff? Oh. Oh my god. Look, I'll do a suicide run at some point. This had better not be bullshit. Quit your yapping and get in the car. I'm going to assume he's gangrel, considering he keeps referring to everyone as like pups and yapping and everything. As you sit down in the back, the door's locking behind you. You notice that your clothing is ripped around your sternum. You touch your chest. You realize there's a gaping hole there. You can feel your broken ribs and the flesh around them. Alright. This one gets a what the fuck. What the fuck is this hole in my chest? Potent reminder that you should listen to your superiors. Anyway, don't worry about it. It'll mend, given the chance. A few minutes later, the sight of your open ribcage becomes just another part of the spectacle you feel almost wholly disassociated from. No breath, no heartbeat, and now a gaping wound with no blood coming from it. It all makes sense, in some perverse way. In a fog-like state, you start touching it like it was somebody else's body. You drive in silence for a while. You keep trying to catch a glimpse of the familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows, but it's of little use. The car is also soundproofed, so all you can hear is a bit of humming traffic and the car's engine. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door is locked all right. A piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy too. There's nothing left to do but wait. You don't have time to think about it before you realize now that you're hungry? No, not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and the back of your head. After a while, the need transforms into an overwhelming wave of anger. You clench your fists and jaw. You kick the wall that divides you and the driver. You feel like screaming. I feel like at this point I've established that I'm probably gonna start swearing. The other option is to keep it in. Because honestly, start yelling is start swearing for me. You know what? How about we be a brave boy let's be a brave boy, and we'll keep it in. Tough boy act, yeah? Tough man. You're fuming inside, but despite trying to cover it up, it shows on your contorted face. Eventually, it catches his eye. Are you scheming something? You keep your impotent rage in check, or else I'll do it for you. Impotent? Just you watch, bastard. Chaos! This game wants me to get myself murdered. How nice are you to me in the actual game? Because let's be honest, Takara would be dead by now. How much leniency do you give me for my shit? Seriously. Very a lot. Okay. Alright, we're gonna be good boy. Your fists hurt. Your head hurts. Your bowels are burning with a dull fire. And yet, you don't break. A minute goes by, and the rage passes. The car continues on its way with no further comment from the driver. You feel exhausted. The anger that you erupted with is now just a smouldering fire, but your hunger remains. It takes you another 20 or so minutes to get to your destination. As the doors open, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York. That much is certain. Queens, maybe? After me. No sudden movements, please. You're still new to... Oh, yeah, no. Very fair, Chaos. You approach a nice-looking building that houses a 2-story gallery called the Art Hall. 2 large men in suits flank the door on both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger guiding you, you walk inside. The gallery is full, which is unusual at this hour to say the least. About 2 dozen faces fill the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed, for the most part, but it's unclear what they have gathered here for. Nobody seems particularly interested in the art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite. Unnaturally so. Many guests turn to look at you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you, as if wishing to appraise your worth. The last time you felt like this, you were at your previous job interview. It was like being a piece of livestock, inspected from all sides for any imperfection, so your wage could be haggled down. It was dehumanizing and made you feel dirty. When they called you the next day to offer you the job, you declined. Even when you're a nobody, you become even less if you trade away your dignity for a paycheck. The memory makes you feel warmer inside even now, although the state of your bank account never did. Good evening, Quadir. And to you, child. The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back to the situation at hand. The gallery. A crowd of strangers. You, being brought here against your will. For what purpose? The room awaits your response. What? See, I wouldn't go with not a child. But... no? What? Don't want to piss her off. I mean, I probably don't want to piss anybody off in this game, really. That's right. I was leaning towards more A anyway. Because that's just as confused as, excuse me, what? Good evening, Miss. You're addressing the Prince of New York City. Helen Padhard, child of Michelle? Michella? Nope, but you're gonna... Oh, yeah. Thank you, my sheriff, but I am capable of introducing myself. She's somewhat plain-looking, doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm, but still, the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people. That much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur of agreement, maybe, can be heard from the gathered audience. But I am willing to listen to what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. I'm gonna remain silent because I feel like he'd be making that exact noise. You decide it best to stay silent and listen to the whole situation unfolds. It feels like you're out of your depth here. A little bit. Shall we begin? You're about to be judged by the court of New York City. Quader, please tell us how you found this fledgling and what happened on your way here. Ah, shit, I'm gonna die. God damn it. Court, Prince? Is this some kind of secret society make-believe? A trusted informant who was chosen to remain anonymous at this time tipped me off that a suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place. The hunger made him savage a prostitute and his client in a Bronx brothel belonging to one of the ministry. I've already spoken to... Oh god, can I pronounce that? God, I can't pronounce that. Sanzaric about this and made sure it'll blow over. The fledgling proved to have quite the nerve and an unruly tongue. Sanzaric. Okay, cool. I got there in the end. As could be expected, this young kindred's instincts got the better of him, and I had to use force for him to comply, as evidenced by the damage to his garments. You can hear somebody chuckle, a few guests glance at the hole in your shirt, and you realize the damage to your chest is almost gone, as if mended on its own. The first lesson proved sufficient, and he did not oppose me tonight. His baser nature took over during the drive here, but I am relieved to note he managed to compose himself before I was forced to intervene. The story ends with us arriving at Elysium tonight. All eyes are on you again. You take a special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman, with curly, almost blood-red hair and a dress to match. You see her whispering to some bespectacled man with an absent-minded look on his face. Who is she, you wonder? Thank you, Quadir. I take note of this fledgling's behavior and will take it into consideration later. She turns her attention to you. First, there is the matter of your sire. The person who brought you where Quaidor picked you up from last night. Who were they? The fuck's a sire? I'm waiting for, like, the yelling to start at me again. I mean, that just, at this point, you'd probably get that, yeah, it kind of matters. Probably more questioning on the sire. Let me ask you first. Why do you keep using that word sire? What does it mean? Under regular circumstances, they would be your patron and the one responsible for your introduction into our society. Things being what they are, however, I would very much like to know who they are. Indulge me. Hey, look, Mirabella will deal with a court in the utmost respect and decorum fashion that vampires demand. Takara, on the other hand, put the big middle finger up, and the only reason she's not dead is because you magicked a pardon and protection out of somewhere. You find it impossible to decline her final request. Something in her voice makes you want to please her, and you hear yourself speak. A Latina woman, very radical. Unless she convincingly lied to me, she was special, extraordinary. She had fire, conviction, temper. She seduced me, easily in fact. Made me think she wanted me. I fell for it. Now I'm here. You stop yourself from saying more, then realize there's really not much more to talk about. A nagging thought enters your mind. How did this prince persuade you with such ease? Well, Quadir, does that sound familiar? No, it doesn't, or at least not familiar enough. I will continue to search after we're done here. I didn't feel like we'd write her out. I don't know. Probably go with the questioning. Well, that's as much as you're getting out of me. What now? Now it's time to decide your fate, fledgling. See? Oops. I went with B. My bad. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince? What is your recommendation, Sheriff? Am I about to die, Chaos? Am I about to die? Do I have to start this whole thing over again? If we do, I'll play it like Mirabella, and we'll have just the smooth sail. You'll first go with compliance. So completely different. The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder. If thou creates another without thine elder's leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. I am ready to fulfill my duty. Whoa, dude. Stay your hand for just a moment longer, Quadir. I wish to consult my counsel on this. Make sure everyone is in agreement. Of course. He seems strangely relieved. The prince leaves the main showroom, and a handful of people follow her out. You're about to ask Quadir what all that talk of traditions and councils was, when the red-haired woman approaches the two of you. Sophie, Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling. What for? She lowers her voice in response. Come now, Quadir. We all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak to them. You might not have to stay in your hands tonight after all. Her words grab his attention. His face is hard to read. It's like several emotions are struggling for dominance. Anger, sadness, hope, gratitude. resolve. I'll go get my sword. He steps out of the room the way you came, and you are left in the showroom with the woman in the red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow you. Well then, fledgling, you are in quite the pickle. What was that about a sword? Wait, did I hear that right? What did he say about a sword? Your hearing isn't faulty. We only have a short while before the prince hears her counsel out, and Quadir returns here with his blade. So listen, please. Why are you making me sweats? Last night, you became a vampire. Wait, what? Oh yes, I'm well aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason why we have these nicer words for it. Kindred, being embraced, having a sire. The fact remains, the beings called vampires, you're looking at them. They're us. You glance around. Some of the guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale, really pale, most holding glasses of wine. No, not wine. That's not the right thickness, and not the right color either. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. It makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night, there's no denying it, and your breathing was not returned. Your heart remained still. A vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything that happened since yesterday together, coming to a conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. The other voice just keeps saying, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" on repeat. You're surprised. This is often how it plays out by design. Quadir deliberately keeping you in the dark and all. If you do nothing, you might be cut down, as sure as day follows night. But I'm here to offer you a chance, a way out, under one condition. I will take you under my wing. If you're lucky, the prince will be in a good mood tonight, and Quaidor's compliments about your behavior won't influence her judgment. The society values docility. She might agree to this, but only if you swear fealty to me. I'm not making this offer lightly. As your patron, I will take responsibility for you. Your actions will reflect on me. If they reflect negatively, well, I'll make sure you face the consequences. let's I mean, we know what'll happen if I refuse. I don't even know why that's an option. You die. I'm gonna guess that's you die. Actually, it may not even give you the option to refuse it, really. What's this? Suppose I say yes. What happens then? You survive, hopefully. Or not, depending on the prince's whim. I'm giving you a chance, not a guarantee. But if you take me as your patron, I'll be your guide in this new reality, and you will assist me, like a child would a sire. Steps and hushed voices can be heard from the side room. It seems the prince and her council are returning to the showroom. Quadir appears from downstairs as well, and starts walking towards you. When you hear the verdict, ask to be spared. I will intervene. Remember my condition. She flashes a heart-melting smile towards Quadir, and does not smile back. Who does not smile back? The sheriff's immaculate suit is now complemented by a curved, oriental-looking metal scarab, fastened with a colourful sash around his waist. It would look vaguely ridiculous if it wasn't surprisingly intimidating first and foremost. Gwydir takes his place next to you and observes as the prince takes centre stage again. Loyal kindred of New York City, Camarillo, gathered here tonight. I have made my decision regarding this fledgling. Their behaviour, since being embraced, has been disagreeable, and that does not bode well for them becoming a valuable member of our society. You are all keenly aware that these nights we need to close our ranks and trust the wisdom of our elders and their traditions more than ever before. As our trusted sheriff pointed out, there can only be one course of action. Although I acknowledge some of my council's divergent opinions on this, she takes a look specifically at one of the people who left the room before, a somewhat plainly dressed, shy-looking man, whose skin was a somewhat healthier tone. He bows his head in deference. I hold the final authority over this fledgling's fate, and I declare that while their embrace might be the sire's responsibility, in their absence it is their progeny that shall be punished. The sentence is final death, to be resolved presently. Gwydir, you hear the scraping sound and see the sheriff has unsheathed his curved sword. It is beautifully detailed blade, which you expect must be worth a small fortune. Its apparent sharpness makes you freeze up. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. His quiet mumble is audible to nobody but you. As his eyes meet yours, you note just a hint of sadness in his countenance, one that quickly vanishes to give way to grim determination. And he's out to bat. You will not get another chance to speak up. There's an option to escape. I know I should ask for mercy and be the good little boy, but I really want to try the escape option. I don't even need Chaos typing in the chat. I can hear her yelling at me. Try it? Oh. Brett style is run away. I mean... I'm going to die. Alright, look, I'm gonna try the escape, and if I die, we'll come back and I'll try again as a little bit more compliant. Let's try. Last chance. Sophie's gaze. The red-headed woman is disappointed after realizing you're not about to speak up. Last chance. The eyes of the crowd focus on you. They know what's coming. They're waiting for it excitedly. Last chance. The sheriff's ridiculous sword raised above you, menacingly, inevitable. Last chance. Last chance. Last chance. You run. It's desperate, ugly, panicked sprint. In a split second, the world around you spins. You tumble awkwardly. You hear gasp. The crowd divides into those who pretend to be disgusted by the sight and those who take it in unabashedly. They're on the floor, 2 legs cut off cleanly above the knees. Here, where you're lying on the ground, the stumps end at around the middle of your thighs. You want to scream, but Quaidor's oriental blade cuts through your vocal cords before you make any sound. Darkness, for good this time. Oh, I got the achievement as far as your legs can carry you. Oh my god. comments in the chat. That's a horrible achievement to get, by the way. As far as your legs can carry you. Oh my goodness. Chaos knew that was coming too. Chaos fucking knew. Night Smallish. Alright. Well, I can either try again right now, or I can end the stream here. I'm guessing I have to let the credits play. I died. So, well, look, I would have died a lot sooner if I was playing as actually Takara. Chaos gives me so much fucking leeway. Jesus Christ. Can't escape the credits. Look, why don't I try again and play more Mirabella's style? Because I've only been streaming for an hour. So yeah, once the credits finish, we'll pick someone else and we'll go on more Dozara. I feel like though, I feel like I made all the calls Abria would actually make. Like, you go through something like that, you're not gonna be compliant, you're gonna be fighting. Fight or flight kicks in and you're doing both.